you need to get comfortable with Sohcahtoa because it's going to help you remember your trigonometric definitions. All right, so there are 6 what we call trigonometric functions. 3 of them are like the most important. So to help us remember the most important ones, and all this is on your goal sheet, so there's no need for you to be writing anything down. I'm just helping you kind of go through this. So Sohcahtoa, the S stands for sine, the C stands for cosine, and the T stands for tangent. These are buttons on your calculator, and oh, by the way, you will be needing your graphing calculators in this unit, so make sure you have them with you every day. Sine is the SIN button, you know that, it's one of our BFFs. Cosine is COS, and tangent is not one of our BFFs, but it's abbreviated TAN. So Sohcahtoa is going to help you remember what sine, cosine, and tangent are. Now, the O's and A's and H's stand for opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Okay, so when I look at a right triangle, and this is what we call right triangle trigonometry. So you are always going to be dealing with right triangles in this chapter. When we get to chapter 5, then we'll look at triangles that aren't right. But every triangle we do here is going to be a right triangle, so every triangle is going to have a hypotenuse. Now, the opposite and the adjacent side depend totally on which angle you are looking at. So you could be looking at either this angle or this angle, okay? If you're looking at this angle, and we're going to call that angle theta, that is not a 0, it is a Greek letter theta. So if you've gone down, a university campus and you've seen all the fraternity and sorority houses, some of them have thetas in them. That's one of the Greek letters. Since trigonometry was originally studied by the Greeks, a lot of what we do incorporates their labeling system still. So theta, that's our angle, theta. Now, if that's where I put it, then this side is called the opposite side, and this side is called the adjacent side. Okay? Now, if I put theta here, this is still a hypotenuse. That isn't going to change. But if that's theta, then this would be the opposite side, and this would be the adjacent side. Opposite means across from, adjacent means next to. The hypotenuse is the hypotenuse, so take him out of the mix. You have this side and this side left. Which one is next to the angle? This one, that's called adjacent. Which one is across from the angle? It's called opposite. So opposite and adjacent depend totally on which angle you are referencing. Okay, that will just depend on the problem. So Sohcahtoa, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So when you look at this picture, opposite over hypotenuse, that fraction would be the sine. So if I had a triangle that looked like this, here's theta, this is 3, 4, and 5, let's say, then the sine of theta, the sine of angle theta would be opposite over hypotenuse, or 3/5. Cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse, or 4/5. Now remember, the hypotenuse is the hypotenuse, period. If this is theta, this is the adjacent side, and this is the opposite side. Sohcahtoa tells me that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's how I got 3/5. what would the tangent of theta be? In that picture, what would the tangent of theta be? Opposite over adjacent, so it would be 3 over 4. It's that easy. Sohcahtoa. All right? So you can see in the beginning here, we've got the trig functions written out, their abbreviation, and then their right triangle definition. All right, so let's start there. There's another definition there we're going to look at in a minute. Now, notice that I've got sine, cosine, and tangent, but then there are 3 more functions. Those functions are the reciprocals of these. So cosecant, on your sheet, you can see this, I don't expect you to know it right now. Cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. So if the sine is opposite over hypotenuse, what will cosecant be? Hypotenuse over opposite. So you have the big 3, Sohcahtoa, and then you have their reciprocals, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. That's all on the sheet. So you're going to memorize that the cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. And since you already know Sohcahtoa, or will know Sohcahtoa, you'll just flip it over. So cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite, secant is hypotenuse over adjacent, and cotangent is adjacent over opposite. And all that's right here. Now, these are called the right triangle definitions. There are also something called the circular definitions. And that's good to know as we leave the right triangles and head into other situations. So the idea is exactly the same, except the triangle isn't labeled opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. It's labeled X, Y, and R. Okay? That takes care of that up there at the top. Just a short abbreviation. You're going to have to memorize all that stuff. Now we also have on this sheet the special right triangles. These are the 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90s that you learned in geometry. You've got to go back and refresh on those. In a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and I'll just draw it the way I did here, but it depends on where you put the 30 and the 60. Always across from the 30 is 1, across from the 60 is root 3, and the hypotenuse is 2. You need to memorize that. Then you need to memorize the 45, 45, 90, which is a little easier because across from the 45s, of course, match. Congruent angles, congruent sides, and then the hypotenuse is root 2. All right? Got to know that stuff. All right, have a safe fall break. I will see you. Well, some of you are going on the trip, so I'll see you there. The rest of you, I will see a week from today.